Hey y'all, so in this video today, I am going to talk to you about part one on how to run super successful social media ads. Now, I posted inside our Facebook group, inside this Facebook group, and I asked you guys to do me a favor and answer this question for me. I think it was with A, B, or C, and I'm just gonna read it so I don't mess it up. So option A was, I want to run social media campaigns, but I have no idea on how to start. The next one was, so it was A, B, and C. The next one was B. So I've spent between $50 and $2,000 a month on social media ads, but I wasn't able to make it profitable or get a return on that investment. So that means that you put money into social media, into ads of some kind, whether it was boosted posts or Google ads or a campaign, and you didn't get a return on that investment, so it didn't make sense to continue. Well, hopefully you didn't continue. Or C, I have spent I'm just gonna say it how it's written. So I've spent $2,000 plus a month on my ads, and I had leads coming in, but I wasn't able to convert them into clients. So if you have leads coming in, you can't convert them into clients, that's gonna be a problem because you're not gonna be able to continue to do ads. So those were the three responses. Thank you to everybody who went into the private group and answered that for me. It's very helpful because that way when I create training, it actually applies to what you guys are interested in and what makes sense. I got a very mixed response on that post, and that's totally fine. No matter which one of those applies to you, or maybe none of that applies to you, or some of it applies to you. Either way, this video, this training will be helpful for you. I decided that instead of trying to cram this all into one video, I want to break it down into a few different videos. So in this video today, we're gonna talk about picking your platform, meaning what social media platform are you gonna use? And then over the next four to five videos that I make, I'll go through the steps on how to create these super successful social media ads. So that way it can kind of just be step by step. I just want to break it down and make it super simple and super easy so that way you can implement it. I know you guys are busy with other stuff, so you can implement it step by step. And then of course you can always go back and watch the whole thing. I might even piece it all together at the end so you can watch or listen to the whole thing and make sure that you get it all done. So if right now you're not in front of your computer, you're not in front of your phone, that's totally fine. You don't have to go through the steps. Just take this information, start to process it, understand it, think about it, and then you can always go back and implement from there. So when we talk about picking your platform for social media, there's a few things that we have to think about. So if you instinctively just go, oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna do Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever maybe it's YouTube videos. If you're just picking a platform right now based on what you use, what you're comfortable with, that's part of the decision making, but it's not the whole decision. So there's three things, again, that we have to think about first. Number one is, what is the goal? So what's the goal inside your business, and or what is the goal of your social media marketing or your social media campaign? So I'll dive into that in a second. The next thing that you have to think about is, what is your offer? So what are you offering to the audience that you're putting your campaign in front of? And then the next step after that is to pick your platform. So we want to think about these two goals before we even think about what platform we're gonna use. So the first thing was picking your goal. So what is your goal behind your social media campaign? Is the goal to be a famous online social media influencer trainer? Is the goal to get a bunch of attention from other trainers? Is the goal to get a bunch of attention from dog owners? Maybe you're trying to build authority as like the go-to trainer in your area, so everybody thinks about you when they think about training. Is the goal to build a huge audience? Do you want like the most likes? Do you want the most shares? Do you want the most interaction? If the goal is to create a huge audience of people that know you and people who interact with you, if you want to be like an influencer, a dog trainer influencer, then your goal is going to be a lot different than if you're a trainer with the goal to bring in new clients. So is your goal to bring in new clients right now? Do you not care so much about being like the biggest and the best on social media, but your goal is to bring in training clients? Maybe your goal is to nurture the relationships with the clients that you have, or nurture the relationship with your community. So that's the first thing that we have to think about. What is the goal? Now, 90% of trainers that we work with and that we talk to, their goal is to get more clients. Even if they're full, even if they're fully booked, they still have that goal of growth. And in order to do that, they need to build a predictable system to get more clients. So usually the first goal will be to build a system to bring new clients into your business. And then if you want to expand from there, then you can think about your next goal, if that's being a celebrity or influencer or whatever that looks like, or just maybe being the most popular trainer on social media in your area, whatever that is. Or maybe you don't have a goal like that. We have plenty of trainers that we know, that we work with, that are doing amazingly awesome inside their business. They are bringing in new clients, new revenue, building their systems, and people don't know about them. That's totally cool. You don't have to be an influencer. You don't have to be a celebrity. We have other trainers that we talk to and they're like, yes, I want to be like the celebrity trainer of my area, and that's totally cool too. It just depends if you like that status or not. But we want to make that decision, at least that initial decision, before we start building our ads, because they're going to look very different depending on your goal. Now keep in mind, if your goal right now is to have that celebrity status or to have that influencer status, you're going to spend more money on the front end to do that than you are if your goal is to get like immediate clients or immediate business, because you are not selling anything, right? If you're building an audience, you are creating this audience of people paying attention, and eventually you can put offers in front of them. But the first goal is going to be just to get those eyeballs. So you're going to put money, time, effort in before you get that return. And you have to be ready for that long stretch. Again, if your goal is to go with the celebrity influencer status and have the most interaction and the most commotion on your social media. If you have the goal to bring clients in right away, that's where you can get a return on your investment right away. You can use really low budget ads, and we'll talk more about that. So just for now, make that decision. Is your goal to get clients, build your business, that angle, or is your goal to get attention, to build your audience, and to get likes and follows, okay? And neither one is right or wrong. You just have to decide what angle you want to go at. So then the next thing, now that you know, okay, my goal is to get more clients, then you have to figure out what your offer is. So your offer is going to be different depending on what your platform is. So they kind of are interchangeable. You have to think about both at the same time, but we have to think about the offer, because we have to figure out what we're putting in front of that audience. So are you offering them to join you for training? Are you offering them a specific program? And when we're thinking about that offer, we have to think about the difference between low ticket online sales and higher ticket, a lot of times in-person sales. It doesn't have to be online versus in-person, but we have to think about the low ticket versus the high ticket. So, and I'm not talking about crazy high ticket. Like, that can be anywhere from, I don't know, $300 and up, right? It doesn't have to be like thousands of dollars. So if you're doing a low ticket offer, so let's say that you're trying to get into the online space, or maybe you're in the online space and you really want to do a membership offer. A lot of trainers that I talk to right now, they really want like a membership offer, more of like passive income. And let's say it's like $40, $50 or below. That would be like a low ticket offer. And then anything above that, let's just consider that a high ticket offer for now. We could get into the whole detail of that, but let's not do that for now, okay? So if we're gonna start with a low ticket offer, so if you're like, okay, I just wanna create this like passive income, here's the thing. If you're gonna do what we call a click and buy offer, so that means somebody, instead of talking to you directly, they are seeing your social media marketing, they're landing on a page, they're signing up without having a conversation with you. So the sale is done through that process. Then we're gonna have to get a lot more eyeballs up front than if we go straight into signing somebody up for a high ticket offer. And the reason for that is because your sign up percentage, even if the price is lower, your sign up percentage is gonna be lower if you're not having a direct conversation with somebody. So, and that there's nothing wrong with that, but we have to make up for that by getting more eyeballs up front. So earlier, when I was talking about the difference between the influencer status kind of social media marketing versus the actually social media marketing for new signups, if you're thinking signups in that low ticket, kind of automated, passive click and buy, we have to think about that influencer status of building a bigger audience, which again means we're gonna need to spend more money up front before we're actually getting people to click and sign up with you. So you have to consider that. So if you have put money, like let's say that when I asked the A, B, or C question inside the Facebook group, let's say that you've spent money and you did not get a return on that investment, but you were spending money on a low ticket offer, you're gonna have to spend a lot more before you get the result. So it might have not been that you were not doing something right. It might have just been that you didn't wait it out long enough. But by the end of this training series, so this video and the next 4 to 5 videos, and I'll keep them short, go through it and just audit the process that you went through. And I'm sure that you can make some changes that are gonna lead to a better result, okay? So again, if you're doing a low ticket automated click and buy offer, you have to think about what platform you're using and how you're structuring your offer. So that way you're able to get as many eyeballs in as possible with the platform that you're using. If you are selling training, if you are selling signups for training with you, you're getting on a phone call with them, or a meeting with them, meaning you're going, it's less automated, right? It's more higher ticket. Then we have to think about the best platform for that. So when we think about different platforms, what we like to use for our clients who are offering high ticket, so in-person training, it's not always in person, sometimes it's virtual, but it's not like that click and buy automated passive sale, right? It's that interactive in-person service, so it's a high level service. We know that Facebook or Meta, so Instagram and Facebook, that is Meta, is a winner every time. Now, the way that we structure ads and what I'm going to go through with you in this training is how to do low budget ads to get the best result. So there are a lot of different ways to ads, and I will touch on all of that so that way you have a deep understanding of different ways of doing things, because it doesn't mean that one way is right and one way is wrong. Of course, there are wrong ways of doing things, but there are a lot of right ways to do this. But we know trainers really well. And we know that trainers usually have a low budget. They don't have a lot of time to maintain their social media, right? If you're working with clients, if you're offering amazing service, you don't have a lot of time to maintain your social media. So the way that we structure ads, they're low budget with a fast return on the investment that you're putting in. So that way you don't have to have a lot to put in up front. So that's going to be key when I take you through this process and show you in these videos how we build out these campaigns. Now, you might wonder, why am I showing you how to do this? Like, if this is the service that we do for you, and this is the service that we sell to dog trainers, why am I going to show you in detail how to set it up? And here's the thing. Our number one goal is to help as many trainers as possible, okay? And most trainers, if I took a pool of every single trainer in the United States or in the world, most trainers are not going to work with us. We're not even going to be a fit for everybody. But if I can show all of you how to do this yourself, there's always going to be a select number of you that's like, you know what? I don't want to do this. I want you to do it for me, right? So it's a win-win, because the trainers that can't work with us, where it's not a good fit, or they just can't do it or whatever, you guys can take this information and be super successful and help as many dogs as possible. And then there's going to be a select few where they're like, I just want you to do this for me. And that's totally cool, right? Because then we get new clients and we get cool relationships with trainers. So that's why this isn't a video training to get you, a sales pitch or give you like a part of the information. I'm going to walk you through the whole process so you understand it, so you can do it yourself if you want to, and you're not wasting money on your social media campaigns. So let's think about the different platforms, because I still, even though I'm telling you Facebook, Meta, so Instagram, Facebook is Meta, is the way to go if you're offering a high level service and you want to have a low budget and you want to get a result right away. that is the platform to go with, but I still want you to understand why. So let me just go through them really quickly. And I can't go through every single platform that exists, but I'll go through some of the main ones. So if you think about platforms like YouTube, like TikTok, those platforms, that's where you can really build an audience, and you can build that audience through content. But when you run a campaign through there, it's not set up to get an immediate result. Those platforms are really set up to build an audience. So one thing that I hear a lot is, well, when I do TikTok, I get a lot more views, I get a lot more interaction. Yes, you will. You'll get a lot more interaction on TikTok than Facebook, usually, if you're posting consistently, because that's what the platform is built for. It's built for interaction. But if your focus is to get a return on the investment or time that you're putting in, you're not going to get the fastest return on that investment. You're just going to get the most attention. And then YouTube is also an amazing tool. And YouTube is really designed to build that longer term relationship where you're going to build up an audience, you're going to build eyeballs, you're going to build people who love you, they're paying attention to you, and it's going to be a slower sales process. And the reason for this is YouTube is basically like a search-based platform, and it's connected to Google, and Google is also a search-based platform. So if you've put money into Google ads and you haven't gotten a return on that investment, same with Yelp. Yelp doesn't have a great advertising platform, but I'm just going to group all of those together as a search-based advertising platform. They can work really well, and you can build really high quality leads that want your service and want your training, but it's going to take a lot of time, money, effort, and energy. And the reason for this, again, it's because it's search-based. So that means you're not putting a message in front of somebody who owns a dog and they're not really sure, like they're not necessarily looking for training. They might just have a puppy that's like running all over the place. Maybe it's peeing on the floor, maybe it's starting to annoy them, but they're not yet in enough pain to search for help. You're mostly going to get the attention of people who already have a problem and they are like, I need help right now. And there's the winning side of that, which is those people are usually ready to take action. But there's the downside. Number one, they're usually price shoppers, and it's not that they're bad people or that it's their fault or whatever. It's just they are actively searching. They're the kind of person that searches around for the best deal, and that's their style, right? And then the other side of that is you're missing out on a huge, huge chunk of your potential client or audience because you're only getting the people who are actively searching for a trainer, but you're not putting a message in front of dog owners who are then like, oh, I do have a problem and I need help, but they weren't searching for it. So again, those platforms are great if you're trying to build your audience and or if you have time and money to wait for the result. Those are the platforms that you're going to use if you're doing that more of that long-term goal. Okay. And then Meta, so Facebook, Instagram, those are the best platforms to use if you're working on getting immediate clients or immediate return on your investment. Now, if you're like, yes, I want to get these high level clients, but I also would love to build my influencer status, what I would suggest, and if you're on a budget and you want a result sooner rather than later, start with the goal of getting those results right away. And as you do that, you will get more eyeballs, you will build your audience, you're not losing out on that time, but you're getting that return. So with our clients, usually when clients come to us, they want immediate return, they need an immediate return, right? So if they're putting money, effort, time, energy into a social media campaign, they need that return. And then some of them still want to build that like influencer celebrity status. So the way that we structure this is we go into a campaign with a direct offer. And again, this is what we're going to teach you over the next 4 to 5 videos. And then we follow up with that by building an audience. And the way that we build your audience is in a way that is really connected to you as an individual and what you're all about and what you stand for. And it's not so much trying to get national or international attention like right away. It's about like building your community step by step with people who care about what you're saying and slowly building eyeballs from there. That's a really cool way to do it, but the other thing is it's like the most affordable way to do it. So if you're on a budget with that goal, it's a great way to do it, and we'll go over that together. So once you pick your platform, so right now, make a decision. You can change your mind, but make a decision just so you can kind of think about it, right? So let's say that you pick Facebook. Now we have to think about, okay, do you want to start, because I'm sure some of you are like rebellious like me, and you're like, well, maybe I'll start with like 1 or 2 platforms, right? And that's fine. Or maybe you'll like write a blog, but then also have social media. Like maybe you have a few things going on with the whole internet thing. So the way that we want to think about that is we want to think about either starting with one platform and going really deep with it. And I think this is something I learned from somebody, but I can't remember who. But if I ever remember, I'll make a note of it. But either pick one platform and go really deep with it, meaning you're going to pick that one platform, you are going to like max it out, like take advantage of all the features, make sure that everything is set up properly, make sure that you get your ads or your campaign dialed in. Like let's build out a whole system based on this one platform and just get really good about it, right? Or you can start with a bunch of different platforms. So maybe you have like Facebook as your main thing, but you're also optimizing your Twitter profile or your whatever, your TikTok profile. You're optimizing it, but Facebook is like where you're running your campaigns. And you can go broad with it, but when you go broad with it, you're not going to go deep with all of them, right? You're going to go deep with one and just do a sprinkle on the other ones. And then you can move on to the next one if you want to and go deep on that one. So when we think about it this way, because if you just go broad and shallow with all platforms, which is what we see a lot, because it's like so hard not to, because it's like they're all out there and you're like, I need to do all of this, but then you do like a quarter or an eighth of all of them, right? When we get too spread out, then nothing works because nothing is actually optimized, and it's not your fault, it's just how it goes. So make sure that you're actually picking that one platform. And honestly, if you're limited on time, you're limited on budget, I would really just start with one and like not even worry about setting up anything for the other ones. We have friends who are on one platform making millions of dollars and they don't even have profiles for the other platforms. So if you feel like you have to be everywhere at once, you don't have to be everywhere at once to be successful. But if you want to be everywhere at once, start with one, go deep with it, get it dialed in, and then go from there. All right, so the goal in this training is to pick your platform based on all the information that we went over. In the next trainings, we'll go over how to set up super simple, super in-depth training on how to set up your ad campaign based on the platform that you pick and based on your goal. So keep an eye out for the other trainings, and we will go from here. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have an amazing evening. If you have any questions, just comment below and I am happy to help. Talk to you later.